I'm the Craftaholic. Today we are going to be making little owl hair clippies. Well, either clippies or in this case I'm making a pin, so you can do whichever you wish. Either a pin or a clippy, but I'm making a clippy. So today what you're going to need is you're going to need one sheet of felt in brown and about half or even just a little piece of pink. So I have the template. If you go to my blog post for June 6, 2010, I have the template for this, for the little owl stuffy that we're going to make. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut out the pieces. You should cut it out, and then you can trace it onto with tracing paper onto your fabric with DMC tracing paper. Once you've cut out all the shapes, you're going to piece it all together and just do some basic embroidery. Piece it all together like this. For the embroidery techniques, you can go to the DMC website, and they have techniques and instructions, tutorials, and all that. So we're making a little owl. I did just a simple embroidery around the eyes and the chest. The next thing I'm going to do is put on his beak, and then once I've glued on the beak, then I can stuff it and just do a basic satin stitch all around. But before I do that, I should also attach the pin back. So we're going to attach the pin back. If you get lazy, you can always, glue it. But I'd rather. I would rather sew it. So, so we're attaching the pin back. I'm just basically sewing it in, going in and out, in through the little holes, like this, and make sure it's nice and tight so that your pin back doesn't end up falling out, and then someone else will end up with your beautiful owl. So you see what I'm doing? I'm just going in the holes, in back and forth, sewing it in together, and that's all you do. You can, like I said, glue it if you wish. Of course, when you do embroidery work, sometimes you get these little knots, and that happens. You just have to be patient and deal with the knots, because it's just like in life. You get knots, you figure it out. You just tug on it. That's what I do. I tug on one, and then voila, it comes out hard. So that's that. And then the next step, once you've got your pin back on in a tight, good and tight, attached there, you're going to then put these two together like this with the stuffing in there, and then you're done. Embroidery work is very simple and very relaxing. As long as you know how to do a couple of basic hand sewing techniques, you can pretty much do anything you wish. Again, if you need instructions on actually how to do the embroidery work, you can go to the DMC Threads website, and they have all the tutorials you need. So, so that's that. I've attached my my pin back. Now I'm going to put a little. I'm going to put the thread through the little loopy thing there. I don't know what it's called, but to me it's a loopy thing. So you just you just pull it through, and that's it. And then I'm going to cut this, and now we're ready to get just a little bit of stuffing. You don't need very much. And then now we can attach it. So again, we're just going to do basic, I don't know what the fancy terms are, because I'm a self-taught embroidery work person. So you're just going to sew it all together, just like this. You can choose either to do you can choose to make stitches, kind of more fancy, like a blanket stitch if you want to do that. That one I know. So you can do a blanket stitch if you wish, or you can just do, you know, basic stitch, which is what I've chosen to do. Here is Grace, and she's attaching the pin back, but if you flip over the pin, she's making like a primal sun. You can see that she has these little polka dot thingamajigs, and today I wanted to also mention that we used Aleene's fabric fusion glue today. So for small details such as the little owl, like this one, I attached it, instead of with thread, I used the Aleene's fabric fusion glue. I finished the stitching around the end here, and I've attached the pin back as I mentioned before. So this is the finished pin, and again the template is, the link for the template is on my blog post for June 6, 2010. So if you go on my blog, you can click on that day's post, and you'll find a link to the template for this little owl. You can make him as a pin, as I've made him, or you can make him as, you know, a hair clip, or whatever you wish. You can even enlarge the pattern and make it as stuffy if you wish. It's really up to you. And again, we use DMC threads. We also use DMC brand tracing paper, and we used Aleene's glue to glue on the small parts here. We also use just regular eco recycled felt. You can use whichever material you wish, but I prefer to use felt. And just regular polyester filling. And that's it. Just sew it all together and you've got yourself a really cool little owl